Welcome back, Button Club members, to another episode of the Safe Sets podcast. I am one of your hosts, Shadow Fury, and with me, as always, is
Ricky Icebeam.
Yeah, so today we're going to be doing Frame Data episode part 2.
Part 2.
Much to the dismay of the both of us and my wife, we had to split that episode into 2 parts because we just completely lost audio for like the last 20 minutes of that episode. Kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I thought we did such a good job on it. We kind of wrapped it up with a bow and said, okay, that's all the frame data you ever need to know. Bye, guys. And then none of it recorded.
Yep. So here we are again, finishing up. We appreciate your patience, though, with, between the 2 episodes. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. This should be a relatively short episode because we just want to finish up what we missed out on last time. And I'm pretty sure the only thing that we missed out on was setting up drive impact stuff.
Yep.
And safe jump stuff, right?
Yep.
Like that.
Oh, the purple?
Yeah.
I don't have any colors on my setup. I was looking into it. It's like 1,000 purple bucks.
Drive impact bucks. Yeah, it's expensive. That's one of the things everyone's talking about with Tekken also, is the fact that Tekken, you got 4 character skins, you can create your own and stuff, so. But that's a different topic for a different episode. So, what does it take to set up a drive impact setup?
What does it take?
What does it take? Alright, so what we were covering last week is all the frames, and when you do a drive impact, you can see there at the bottom, you get a 25 frame startup on drive impact, right? So basically that's the magic number. That's what we need in order to set up a drive impact setup. So I know as Ken, as long as I'm going to give away some secrets right now, so make sure you jot this down. Cover your ears. Yeah, that's right. So I know that if I end a combo in Flame Tatsu, you can see there 43 frames, okay? So that's a bit excessive, right?
Well, what happens if you dash?
Ah, this guy.
19.
Plus
so
19.
It's not plus enough for a good drive impact setup.
Yeah.
You can still do it, but it'll be a little bit more obvious. And
Yeah.
you'll have more time to react.
You might catch them sleeping, but that could be the difference between hitting the drive impact and maybe even getting perfect parry.
Right, and
it's right in that window.
What are you waiting for?
And also in that situation, because you've dashed up, they might think you're going for a throw, and they just might be mashing throw. And so you go for the DI, thinking, oh, there's only 6 frames to react, but they're not reacting at all. They're mashing throw.
Yep. And that throw, as we all know, is one of the perfect counters for drive impact. So there is a setup that I have found that I use all the time. And it's that guy right there. So we intentionally are going to whiff crouching light kick, which is a total of 10 frames.
17 total.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, 10 was the recovery. Thank you.
Yep.
So now this is obviously some training mode shenanigans, and I'm pretty sure there have been times where if I mistime that, because it is pretty tight in the frame window there, I have been paired with that before. They have known that it's going to come because they've seen that setup before, and I do get drive impacted.
And it is reactable. It's just in this situation, because you've done the setup, the window to react is very small. Mm-hmm. So not only do they have to, like if they're going to react with a DI, they basically have to match DI to make sure it comes out on frame 1. And if they're going for a parry and not a perfect parry, they do have the luxury of just holding down the parry button so it comes out frame 1.
Frame 1, exactly. You'll see my brother do this all the time. He'll intentionally end a combo in light kick, Tatsu, and be plus 35. I forget what the frame kill is for that, actually, also.
I was going to say, killing 10 frames is hard because it's such a short amount. Is it possible that because it's a punish counter, the frames are different?
Maybe it's... Oh, you know what? That is...
Let's find out. It's 35. Is it possible it's a different Tatsu?
Yeah, I would...
Because that was 23.
Yeah, I think it's medium kick Tatsu then. Medium kick Tatsu, mash it basically right on their wake up. And the world is your oyster.
So to show the defense for the setup, I think we should have the dummy wake up with DI, and then 1 frame at a time keep delaying it and see like, okay, if they do it with no frames of delay up to X number of frames of delay, it works. But if they're like 4 frames out or 5 frames out, then that kind of shows you how tight the window is.
Good call. So
that was no delay.
Hey now, where you going?
The real setup. So now let's set them to 1 frame of delay. And so an amazing setup would be, like, they can drive impact you back with no delay, and they can't drive impact you back with 1 frame of delay. I think that's what your Ken setup is probably like.
Oh, okay, okay.
But this one being plus 23, I think they'll have like 3 or 4 frames before they get splatted. Yeah, so I think that's the last frame. Yeah, so the drive impact, if you DI in the last possible frame, the animation's a little bit different. It's hard to describe it exactly, but I saw it there.
Yeah. You basically become like fully red, and regardless of the colors that splash around, every character turns red with that hit, right?
Yeah. I just like it more.
Yeah. See, so we now have hit 3 frames of delay.
Yeah, so I think that means they only have a 3-frame window, either 0 frame, 1 frame, or 2 frame. In order to do something on defense that will beat So I'm curious, if they actually don't haven't lagged this, I would imagine that means you can't throw that, even with 0 frames of delay.
Oh, that he couldn't throw me? Is that what you're saying? So
Exactly. That's what I'm imagining without actually doing my homework. That's what I believe to be true. Common actions, normal throw. And then set it to 0 frames of delay. This would be best case scenario for them, is they're mashing it. They can't throw that. So it would have to have, I think, at least 5 frames in order to be able to throw it, which means you'd have to be like plus 21 before you drive impact.
Okay. And just to reiterate, we are... Oh, wait.
I think you're plus 23.
It was 23. Okay, yeah, 23. Okay, cool. So that makes up for the difference of that. And then, do you have any drive impact setups?
I don't have any good ones. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't labbed it. But there's one that I do sometimes because it's hard to react to. Is after I land a level 3, I'll just immediately drive impact. But I don't know the frame data, so let's switch to Luke.
Want to figure that out?
Yeah, let's
okay.
figure it out. Let me do my homework on stream. Oh, I'll do it.
Yeah.
See if I know how to do this.
Some Luke on Luke action
Oh, my
here.
button.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And this is the important thing with frame game. Like, I don't need to press the dodge attack. I just have to see what the frames are. Plus 18. So that's not good.
Yeah, no. That's more time for your opponent to make that read right, drive back with it.
Yeah, because even after a forward throw, I think I'm plus 19.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think off the top of my head, what would be... I'm trying to think, because I have a 19 frame dash. Oh. So I think if I do... That's plus 7. I'm just trying to think of situations where I'm 2+ for a throw, and that's a situation, but it's not. I would have to be a situation where I dash up and I'm 2+.
Okay.
Situations. That's 42. So if I 23. That
Okay.
wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Especially if they're in the corner and they're panicking. Because the other thing too is after this.
Yeah, because it was 42. Do that safe jump again? Oh, do it without the hit? You're still -3 there, huh? safe, right?
Yeah, because it's a 45 frame jump and plus 42.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I've mentioned I tried your button layout, right?
Oh, did you?
I've tried your button layout. And in training mode, it felt horrible.
Yep.
And after tournament on Monday, I'm like, let me go online. And my first match, I didn't check the buttons because I'm home, you know, and it was to your setup. So I actually played a match with that, and there were parts of it that I was like, I think I got more accustomed to it faster in a match
than playing in training mode.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Go back to our controller video, podcast episode 2, and if you don't know what we're talking about, you can find out.
Take this! Gotcha! Take this!
Because even at 32, could you whiff a jab and then go into it? Would that be enough? What's the full animation of your jab?
15.
15.
So no. Plus 17.
Which is worse than your original setup, right?
Yeah, it's worse. I'm trying to think what else I could do.
I know the way I found out through a lot of DI setups for me was someone else did the homework, and I just went out and checked it out. There's plenty of videos out there for you to go out and see for. Let someone else do the homework for a bit.
34 on.
Sometimes you have to sacrifice something too, so maybe like after you knock them back, you don't do the second knuckle, and that can set up something else.
Trying to think. Does that work? Hold on. No, it's 2+.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, it's 2+.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm trying to figure out is a setup where I'm not giving away way too much. Because if you give away too much and then they guess right, it's like you might as well just do your combo.
And then it kind of becomes obvious because you're like, wait, he doesn't usually drop that combo.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like a setup.
Mm-hmm. Or even Guile, you know any... No, because if you don't know one for him, there's no way you know one for Guile, right? Okay, yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you, how many frames do you have to tech a throw?
That's a good question. I think it's like... I think in Street Fighter V it was like 7 frames.
Okay.
And so that's why if you do a setup for a meaty throw, delay tech won't work.
Okay.
So like this throw, this throw setup I do here. That was a 7. Plus 5. So right there, if I throw and you delay tech, you won't tech it.
Okay.
But if you mash throw, you'll tech it. And that's what makes that setup so strong.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to mash throw to tech that throw, that means I don't have to shimmy to beat your tech.
Okay.
So the mix-up becomes button or you literally strike or throw.
Yeah.
And it's meaty. So I can either do the throw or the crouch medium punch, which is a plus on block. Let me try that. Plus 29, that's 2 plus. 28. 28.
Mm-hmm.
What if I did...
You go! You go!
33.
You go! Gotcha!
31.
You go! 10 left! You go! 10 left!
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you whiffed Fireball to be plus. You were +5?
You go! 10 left! Go to
Setup.
sleep!
Good lord.
That's a setup.
See? The power of frames, you just figured that out? Give me this back.
Add it to my my arsenal.
Yeah. We're gonna Men in Black flash him after this.
But really quick, it's just like we were just talking about, where like you don't want to give up too much for a setup. It's like, well, that's a nice cheeky throw setup, but what did I have to do? I had to spend 2 bars, and it did how much damage? It did 1,600 damage, where my normal ender would be 2710. So I'm giving up like 1,100 damage for a throw setup. I mean, the throw does
Go to sleep!
12, so it's basically the same as finishing my
okay.
combo.
And then I guess at that point, like, it's the mental damage. That says a lot too, and I know that that's something that you're always thinking about, is to mentally wear out and frustrate your opponent.
Yeah.
So that would be definitely something where, and that would trigger them, honestly.
Yeah, well, it would trigger them if they knew it was a setup. I'm imagining in that situation, they're like, oh, he messed up, let me like mash jab here. Well, I guess in that case, the throw would be a punish counter throw.
So it's even better.
Or a counter hit throw. Rather.
So what would a counter hit throw do there, I wonder?
Well, just set them to jab. Well, instead of always counter, just set them to wake up, crouch, jab.
Okay. And then it was ending in this?
No, it was fireball.
Okay.
You go! 10 left!
So it's the same amount of damage with a counter hit throw.
Because I shut that setting off, right? Oh, wait, let me shut that setting off.
Well, it should still counter.
You go! 10 left!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because it's before their startup on their
Yeah,
attack.
the punish. Yeah, so if you attack someone during their startup, it's a counter hit. If you attack them during their recovery, it's a punish counter.
Yeah. Which was all covered on episode 1, so go check that out if you haven't yet. And is there anything else to be said for drive impact setups?
So for setups, like we were talking about, if you can get to like +24, +25, and then do your DI, that gives them a very small window to counter it, and they're hard to deal with. Mm-hmm. But there's
Getting cold feet?
I'm sure there's setups that are not +24, +25, but they're visually ambiguous.
Okay.
And so they'd be harder to deal with. Or it's a situation where like, oh, this is my setup where I go for an end jump, or this is my setup where I do dash up throw. Like I'm sure there's situations where you can mix in the DI, even though the frame data doesn't say it's a great spot to do it. It's like, but if you've already thrown 2 or 3 different options your opponent from the same ender, then mixing in the DI can mix them up.
Because they'll be thinking of rock
Feeling
and paper, and then
nervous?
you'll be hitting DI would be the scissors that time around, right? So.
Or like I like to say, there's rock, paper, scissors, and DI.
And DI, yeah, nice. And then, do you have any safe jump setups with him?
I do. There's 2 in particular that I use. The first one's super easy. So you have to combo into heavy knuckle with no charge, but it has to be grounded. And so the easiest way to do that is just crouch heavy punch into heavy knuckle.
Non-charged.
Yeah. And that should be +42.
Let's shut off his jab. +42.
Yeah. So right, like once you do the knuckle, you can just hold up forward to go for the safe jump.
Okay, and then should I set him to do wake up OD?
Yeah, wake up ODDP. Oh, you
But the other ones, crouching light is. Oh, because I never changed. Okay. I guess I. Oh, that's how it was supposed to happen, okay?
When you jumped, did you hit heavy punch?
No. Oh.
So you should be hitting heavy punch every time. So like, that's the beauty of the safe jump. So you should hold down back when you're pressing the heavy punch.
Okay.
So like do the knuckle, do the jump heavy punch, hold down while you're doing it.
Oh, okay.
So like that's the beauty of the safe jump. It's like you're doing your jump heavy punch. So they either have to stand block it, get hit by it because they crouched or did anything, and if they DP, then you get to block anyways. You hold down back while you're doing that.
That's sneaky. I don't like that, and I don't like the look you just gave me
Well,
after that. You're gonna have to get cameras in these glasses. You can see that look. It's like, yeah, well, deal with it.
No. What I meant was like in my mind, that's the beauty of a safe jump. So I had figured that you already knew that you could do that.
No.
And so ironically, the empty jump low and empty jump throw is fake because you're -3 when you land if they don't do anything.
Okay, all right. That's wrong.
I mean, that's the definition of a safe jump.
Of a safe jump setup.
Right,
Yeah.
you're doing the thing, and it's safe. The thing that really beats a safe jump setup is the parry. But then you can do your safe jump setup and don't hit the
And
heavy
don't do
punch.
anything, yeah,
And
yeah.
when you land, you have time to react to the fact that they tap parry and then punish counter throw them.
So let's show that. Common attacks, right? Yeah, drive parry. I'm like, oh, I'm not looking for the
It's
word
weird
drive in front of it.
Yeah, it's weird that they call it drive parry because in my mind it's just parry.
How's this?
Ah.
And the reason you go for a throw there is because you can react to the fact that they pressed parry because they turned blue. But it's hard to react to whether they tapped parry or held parry. So if they tap parry, you can technically DI them. Because once you release a parry, you can't block for a few frames.
Yeah.
So the DI will actually, like, it won't like punish counter them, but they can't do anything about it. So it's a guaranteed wall splat.
Okay.
But because you don't know if they're holding parry, if they chose to hold parry and you press DI because you see them turn blue, they
Getting
could
cold
still
feet?
just hold it for the entire time.
Yeah.
And so that's why you empty jump and then throw when you see them turn blue, because it doesn't matter if they tapped it or held it, the throw beats both.
And that's something that you are going by visual sight, or you're like, oh, this is the game plan that I've laid out, so I know that.
Right, it's like typically my plan A is do the safe jump and then see if they perfect parry. And if they perfect parry,
I gotcha!
then that gives me an incentive to do I do my safe jump again the next time I get the chance, or do I do the empty jump and react to the parry? Because what I do is I do the jump and I don't do the heavy punch, but I'll hold down back. That way, if they like press buttons or anything, I can't get hit. The worst thing they can do to me is back throwing.
Okay.
Which,
yeah.
if they're understanding how the safe jump works, they shouldn't be pressing throw at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a big risk to even want to do that. So.
How's this?
All right, and then.
And the other good thing about that is if they're just blocking, because the other thing too is like, so perfect parry beats the safe jump, but stand blocking kind of ties it, where like you're not taking any extra risk on. And so if you do the empty jump thinking they might parry and they just block like a normal person should, you could probably still get away with throwing them because you just empty jumped. You're -3, but they're waiting for you.
Exactly. Yeah. They're kind of like deer in headlights already, trying to see what you're doing, how you're gonna mix it up, and then, yeah. So that'd be a hard read on their account.
Yeah. So the other one that I do, is I do crouch heavy punch to perfect light knuckle, and then I do a jump medium punch.
And then jump medium punch?
Yeah.
Was that it right there, that last one?
That was
No?
not perfect, no. Easier said than done.
I'm just going to go to control settings.
I can do it with this controls. It's fine. All the Luke mains are watching eagerly to see the Ken main try to do their combos.
Yeah.
Watching me mess it up. Alright, so let me turn off his parry for a second just to confirm the frames.
That is an intimidating thing about playing Luke for me, is the charge knuckle. I'm dropping run stop combos already.
Yeah, so that's plus 42. And then the other nice thing about the safe jump is you can see, like, if they do get hit, That's plus 15. So when I do it, I actually have time to like sit and wait, react to the fact that they got hit, and then do a combo. So a lot of times I'll like hesitate, and I'll do crouch medium punch into drive rush. I'll do crouch medium punch, stand light kick into drive rush.
Just to kind of set up that extra buffer in order to get the
because I'm in a real match, so like my brain's not perfectly focused on the one thing at the one time. So like to have a few extra frames to be able to do one of those is good.
Show it one more time, just so I can see it again.
Where you going? Take this!
And sometimes I'll mix up my safe jumps too.
Time! You get too slow!
Do it again, yeah.
I mistimed that one, but yeah. I pressed it too late.
So as long as you're generally 45 frames plus, right, 42 to 45, you can create your own safe jump setup, basically.
So I haven't tested with 45 frames. I imagine it would work, but I haven't tested it. 42, I think 42 or 43 is like the sweet spot.
Is the sweet spot?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is? I think Ken's jump is actually those extra 2 frames shorter. Which is why sometimes when I do some safe jump setups, it's the block, and it's not perfectly to keep my offense going.
Yeah, and then just to show off another setup I realized the other day is if I go to do that, if I do the jump medium punch and then immediately do a full charge air knuckle, I can whiff crouch medium kick and I'm plus 5. That's a throw setup.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But you know what? This is good because I hope you guys are all watching this and taking down these notes.
Yeah, so when I see you guys at Button Club on Monday and I do the setup to you,
you're going to be like, man, the information's out there on the internet. Aren't you studying? Well, why aren't you watching Safe Sets Podcast?
And then I'll unbeat jumping to beat them teching me.
Jesus. Yeah, let me see something real quick.
Sure.
Just see if it. Oh wow, I'm so sorry. So that leaves me, yeah, plus 43.
Yeah, so that should be good for a safe jump.
But my jump animation is 45, right? So like,
but it's fine because you're not making contact after the 45th frame. Like you're hitting them before you land.
Okay.
I think you pressed a little bit late.
Yeah.
Or maybe too early. Yeah, I think that was too early. Yeah, try to hit it lower. Like, imagine you're hitting like. You mind if I try?
Yeah.
What's the setup?
It's just you have to do run into Tatsu. So any 2 kicks.
Run? What are you talking about?
So yeah, you don't even have to do the target combo if you don't want. You can just do. Oh wait, no, you do because the target combo puts them in the air. Yeah.
It might be 2+.
Yeah. Well, cause
I'm doing like light kick to try to make it even more active, and it's not up there. So maybe 42 is the right amount.
Yeah. I think because my jump is that much slower, I can do a safe jump, but it's not to hit a button. It's literally just to bait, probably just to DP, and that's it, right?
Right.
Because I'll jump and then land, block the DP. So you have even less time after the DP than you do the Tatsu.
That's weird. If you do light DP, it still does you the heavy one.
It doesn't after run. It doesn't give you any specific one. It's like one strength generic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Tatsumaki Senpu! Tatsumaki Senpu! Tatsumaki!
I wonder if that works.
That was light, yeah? No, because that one needed more minus, it says. It was -3 before. Oh.
That should work. Let's set him to DP.
Which Tatsu did you do?
Light.
Light?
I mean, the damage output is 1490 instead of. That's not
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's weird that does so much damage.
Yeah. There's a bigger scaling thrown after the combo on target combo, and then again on the flaming Tatsu. Yep.
Good jump.
Wow, and there you were plus 43? Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a punish.
Yeah. But that got me thinking, and I see you do it on punish sometimes too, especially on that. You'll neutral jump punish with it, and then do your regular combo.
Yeah, it depends. So Luke, what I've been trying to do more lately is if I'm going for the most damage, I'll like block a DP, and I'll do a no charge medium knuckle. Because it's actually +7 on hit and it like moves me forward, and then I can. So it's normally +3. The punish counter makes it +7.
Yeah.
Then I can go right into a crouching heavy.
What are you waiting for?
Wow. Huh. What the?
Tatsumaki Senpu! Tatsumaki Senpu!
So let me think. What other?
Toria! Tatsumaki!
How do you do the dragon lash?
DP with kick.
Oh, that's interesting.
And the heavy kick one is the one that's plus on block.
I want to see what it was. Knockdown. I don't know what it just did. Okay.
30. Oh yeah. That is something that I've set up a jump for, is the OG Dragon Lash.
So that jab is +20, makes it +25. Wait, why is that so fast? 13 frames total. We gotta talk about this button. What the heck?
I don't know what you're talking about. What was yours? 15?
My stand jab. Well, my crouch jab's like 15. My stand jab, I think, is like 20 something. It's the really slow moving one.
Ah, poor guy.
What was I just doing? Oh, I think that's set up. Where am I?
Yeah, there you go. Wake up reversal.
Yes. So I want him to drive impact. With no delay. So we should be able to impact it. I gotta like, move my fingers around like one at a time. I think it's last frame, and that was with no delay.
Yeah.
So I believe that we put it on 1 frame delay.
Well, thank you!
Ah, doing my homework for me.
Well, can it's so easy.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
I hit the thing again. Hold on. What was I doing?
was frame kill with jab, right?
Hey now, where you going?
Press touchpad. Press touchpad and it'll clear it. Nice, okay. That could be an episode in itself. Trying each other's combos.
Yeah, like learning a character we don't actually
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Either way, I think we said like 2 frames, even if I was off by a little bit. So that's still a really good setup.
Yeah.
But like in theory, it works on just 1 frame of delay. You can't do it.
And there's still like something to be said about that too. Maybe you do that drive impact to force them to do theirs because it'll burn themselves out. Or maybe they don't have the health to cover the drive impact, so when you actually hit them with it, they end up dying anyway. That could be a way to set that up also. Anyway, let me try.
The setup works though.
Yeah.
So,
Let me try it.
Yeah, so you medium punch, heavy punch, whip jab.
And I actually even, anytime I do run cancel, Shoryuken, that also sets up drive impact.
So let's turn off his DI on defense and see how plus that actually is. You're probably right. So do the uppercut without the DI just to see what that is. 22, so it's not bad, but there's a few frames in there.
Yeah. It's one of those things just to kind of catch them off guard. And it's not something that I use a lot. So sometimes by the time it happens. Where in the beginning, it felt so nice to have a safe jump or a drive impact setup for this that I ended up doing it kind of a lot. And then there were points where I was like, I'm going to do this. And nothing.
Right.
And watch them to try and drive impact back, so...
So that's interesting too. If you're putting them in a situation where you think they're going to mash DI, what you actually want to do there is press cancelable normals.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which that is not. But the timing,
But when you lift your crouch light kick, you're plus 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you could just... Well, what's your forward dash? 18?
19.
So you're plus 6. But either way, like, if you put them in a situation where you think they're going to DI, it's like you don't want to do nothing. You want to press cancelable normals. That way, their DI absorbs your normal, and then you cancel it into your own DI.
Okay. So then, would I do this to that or something? Because I can cancel that, or...
So, let me think about it. Because what's your crouch jab on whiff? 14. So that would make you plus 11. What's your crouch medium kick? 28. That would make you do minus. What about whiff and a throw?
Damn.
30. So what if you whiffed a throw instead of crouching light kick?
Drive impact, right?
Well, just whiff the throw and see what the frame data says. Plus 13.
So yeah, that's not plus enough.
So what's your stand heavy punch on whiff? 31. That's not
22.
Oh, that's a good button. So do crouch light kick, then press that button.
This guy.
Frame data.
Yeah, see? Now you know why it's important. Oh, man.
So same thing, like you could do that as a throw setup, or you can do it as a setup where you get to press your crouch medium punch. So set them to wake up DI with no delay. Do that setup and then press crouch medium punch instead of throw. So whiff crouch light kick, whiff the what is that?
Standing medium punch.
Yep, and then press crouch medium punch. Their DI will absorb your crouch medium punch, and then you can DI and
Cancel on too.
Try and stop! Try and stop! Pay
So if
attention!
you crouch medium punch, I'm curious. I think you might even have time to do 2 crouch medium punches.
To negate the standing medium punch and just go to this into this.
No, so you do crouch light kick with your stand medium punch, then a meaty crouch medium punch that is absorbed by the DI, and then a second crouch medium punch that is absorbed by the DI, cancel that into DI.
Right.
Try and stop! Try and stop!
Yeah. Okay.
And that's if they max it on frame 0.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If you do it anyway, you have even more time.
So should we see?
Well, I mean,
No.
this is
result.
as hard as it's ever going to be.
Yeah.
So if it works here, it's
It'll
going to work
work.
in a real
Yeah.
match. It's a setup.
I learned something
So
new today.
what's your crouch medium punch on block?
0. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that. I should have known that. Because I'll do this.
Yeah, so it's still a good setup though, because it's a throw setup. And then you can get
Try
the
and
crouch
Which still needs DI.
medium punch.
Try and stop!
It was
Try and stop!
this. No.
You should have time to do 2, but I think you missed it, but you
Yeah.
you did it earlier.
All right. Cool.
The other thing too is you could do like a crouch medium punch and then see that they DI'd it and then crouch jab into DI. It gives you a little
Oh,
more
because it's
time. It's a little bit faster.
Yeah, and it's still a cancelable button, so either way.
Right. And then for every button that their DI absorbs, you do white life. So it's like bonus on top of your regular combo.
Oh, okay.
So it's like white life, DI, then your combo.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't know how the frames are or the programming, but it
I don't
definitely
have
feels
time
like
to
when they're
play.
absorbing your normals, time in the game is slowing down, so I think you have more time to react.
Because you've been hitting them, yeah.
Yeah, like I think if someone DIs and you raw DI and back, it's much harder than if they DI and they absorb your
Feeling
button. I feel like you
nervous?
have more time.
Because probably in the animation, like the chink in the armor kind of thing, right?
What are you waiting
Yeah,
for?
well, I think the because I think if you DI, it's just like regular speed. I think if they absorb a normal to your DI, I think the game actually slows down. Like I think it does a slow mo.
Should we test that?
I mean, we can try, but I think it's just gonna be a visual thing. Like we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, that looks slower.
Nah, that's true. Well, because like if DI is so many frames.
Well, I think the frame data is still the same. I think the game runs slow.
Oh, okay. I understand
so
what you're
so in
saying.
real life, you have more frames.
Okay, that makes sense. This went on for even longer than we had anticipated. You know, in the original video, it should be noted that this was only an extra 20 minutes. But you know
I
what?
don't have time to
We
play.
actually learned more this time around than we did the first time around.
So before we close this out, there's something else I wanted to check with your character specifically. What's your frame data after you land your level
Getting
1, your
cold
level
feet?
2, and your level 3 super?
Ah.
Because this is good stuff to know. Like, I know with Luke that if I land my
What are you
level 2
waiting for?
super in the corner, I'm +3 and in throw range, which is really messed up.
Okay.
My level 1, I'm 2+ for a throw, so I'm probably like +7 or +8 or something like that. And then after my level 3, I'm like super plus. So I'm curious with Ken.
Coming in hot! One more!
Level 1, yep. And we're full screen and I'm +35.
Yeah, so that doesn't seem like it's good for any OP.
No, not really.
What about level 2?
Now that!
And we're full screen and
But this one didn't side switch, so I'm wondering if you start it when they're in the corner.
when they're in the corner?
Yeah.
Coming in hot! One more!
Well, that was level 1, so do level 2 and then the corner.
Oh,
'cause
okay,
it doesn't
I'm sorry,
side
I'm
switch. So space.
Now that!
Definitely.
plus 36, and then you have a 19 frame dash, so that would leave you what, like plus 17? So, actually, what was the move that you had that was 31 frames? Stand heavy punch? Yeah, so do your level 2 with stand heavy punch plus 5.
Wait, yeah.
So the throw setup.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then I'm not sure what I get. I have something saved that has that information, but that's something I haven't really.
Bet that hurt.
Plus 15, so yeah.
But, and that was from point blank, right? Like you're already in their face.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it leaves you kind of far away.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
You know, if I dash, I'll be -4.
so not great for. And you can probably just throw a fireball and they have to block it or parry it. But it seems like the level 2.
That's a good one, yeah, because then I could do.
No, it's still plus 36.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because they started a little bit higher up, but I think the animation of your level 2 kind of sucks them back in and ends them in the same location.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so anytime you do the level 2, yeah, stand heavy punch and then throw.
Yeah, frame data.
And so, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know anything about Ken, but looking at the numbers, I can figure things out.
Yeah.
So, like, same thing. If I was going to learn a new character or even a new setup with my existing character, looking at the frame data speeds it up the process by so
Feeling
much.
nervous?
Instead of guessing and trying to figure out, like, well, if I press this button and
I
this
don't have
button,
time
and, like,
to play.
testing, okay, what happens if they jab, what happens if they throw, the frame data kind of tells you everything you need to know. Like, oh, because you did this, you're plus 36. You whiff your 31 frame normal, you're plus 5. That's a perfect throw setup. And so that throw setup will beat delay tech. Because if they delay tech, it's outside of the throw window.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
it so
What are you
fast.
waiting for?
Sick. See? Learn your frame data, everybody. Is there anything else you want to say?
Getting
So
cold
at the
feet?
beginning of the other episode, I had mentioned that you don't need to know frame data, and that's still true. You don't need to know frame data. It's useful information. It will definitely help you learn things a little bit faster.
I don't have
especially
time
if you're
to
using a new character, or if you're switching to a new game. Like if you're going from Street Fighter V to Street Fighter 6, you could be Grandmaster rank in Street Fighter V without knowing any frame data. But day one on Street Fighter 6, because you don't know your frame data, it's going to take you a little bit longer to learn all the things that you need to know. So it really is a shortcut, but it gets you to the same place.
And I feel like I think you don't need to learn frame data up into a point. But I think like once you hit a certain wall or a certain like you're trying to get through the next threshold in it, I think it is pretty necessary. At least to understand it. No, like not to know every frame or every number. Oh, I know the entire cast, who's negative on this and that, but I think you have to understand what these numbers are doing and why they're important. No,
I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I always want to have the caveat that like if you play fighting games for fun and like you play with your friends on Friday night and have a few drinks, you don't need to know it.
Okay.
If your goal is to hit Master Rank in Street Fighter 6 and then you're gonna put the game down and not touch it for 3 months, you don't need to.
You don't
know
need
it.
to. No,
Right.
no. Because like I'm pretty sure there's a few people, probably maybe some of you watching right now, in Master Rank, and like you have an idea of frame data, but this isn't stuff that you're like really trying to work out. There are so many videos out there that can also simplify this process, but we just figured out some really more interesting things on the fly that aren't as well known. So like if you were to, you know what, I'm having a hard time with Ken, knock on some wood, and I need to know what he's doing for this setup. You know, you could go on YouTube and also look up Ken setups and go, oh, I have seen him do that to know. But even when I was learning and getting into fighting games heavily with Street Fighter V at old PCG, that was one of the first things people would say, and then you feel like a moron because you don't know. You go to do something, you're like, oh, you can't do that. That's -6, and you're like, I remember the first time someone said that to me, I was like, -6 what, in damage? Or like, what are they talking about? I have no idea. So I do think if you're looking to get past a certain point, it definitely is. And you can flex that to your friends, okay? You can say, you know what? I'm counting frames.
Right, and the other thing too, like frame data seems hard when you don't know it. Once you have that aha moment, once it clicks, and like, oh, I understand it now. It's like so much easier. It's like I said, it's a shortcut to get to the same place, but it is a shortcut. So I highly recommend learning it if you love fighting games. If you're gonna do more than just grind ranked, if you're gonna do more than just play with your friends on a Friday night, if you're frustrated and you're trying to figure out what you can do different, learning frame data can help you get to the next step.
The answers are there, and to know that, I remember as a kid thinking that there has to be a certain time to this, but how do you measure that? Am I waiting a second? Is it this and that? But when you think that things are broken down into frames, then that's really when you get to feel how well calculated some of these things have to be, and stuff that you might be frustrated with when you're playing against online or in tournament. When you see that, wow, it's as simple as being -1, -3, I'm 3 frames behind, that's why I'm getting frustrated with this situation. All that stuff's really important, and having the answers can cool off that frustration and bring you back into the learning curve.
Yeah, because there's lots of things, especially in this game with Street Fighter 6, like if I put you in the corner, I do a safe jump to you, and you don't know what a safe jump is, and you don't know whose turn it is or what your options are, like, even if you guess right, you're still in a terrible situation. And because I can tell you're guessing and you don't know what you can and can't do, I'm going to keep doing the setup to you. I'm going to keep putting you in a difficult position where you basically lose or tie.
Yeah.
And there's almost no beating it. I mean, like I was saying earlier, with a safe jump, the way to beat it is to perfect parry. But if you're not understanding what a safe jump is, you wouldn't necessarily think to try to perfect parry.
Yeah. Or like, unless you're just panicking, hitting the parry button, and you're like, oh, it worked, I perfect parried, now what, or this and that. But I think you still have to understand why. I didn't know what safe jump setups were, I want to say, till like Guilty Gear Strive DNF around then. I was playing a lot with Boltazo, and he's like, oh, I found out this safe jump setup. And then when we had a match, it sounds so self-explanatory, right? But getting to actually see it and what was happening, I was like, oh, safe jump setup, that's what he means. How do I get to figure those things out? So, yeah, I think if you're trying to get over that wall, you, like anything else, you need to know how the game is played. It would be the same thing as Pokemon cards, or losing turns, or taking, this. I put out this. I don't know how Pokemon works. So
you brought up the analogy.
I brought up, so you go, oh yeah, but I do this and you lose 3 turns, or maybe I'm thinking of Uno or something.
So if you're going to use Pokemon cards as an analogy, it would be the analogy of not being able to read, because the cards tell you what they do. But if you can't read and you're just guessing what they do, that's kind of what you're doing in fighting games when you don't know the frames.
Wow. You heard it here first. If you don't know frame data, you're illiterate. All right. Is that it for this episode then?
I think we did it. If anyone has any questions about frame data or wants us to cover any topics in better detail, if you want us to go through your character and show you some cool setups or situations that you can do to people, let us know in the comments and we can dive into that in a future episode.
Absolutely, because we are always looking and trying to think of different things to do so we can keep you guys entertained and put out that content. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode 2 of the Frame Data episode of the Safe Sets podcast. Ricky, anything else?
I think we did it.
All right, my friend. Well, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, share with some friends.
And stay safe.
See you guys.